Here we go. All right, now we're recording. All right. What's I'm gonna try it again. Starting off's great.
What's everyone?
Everybody's here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the MSF Insider segment of the Overachievers Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Vash, joined as always by Dami Ashy Pastrami, and we have our special guest today, WolverThor, with us, one of the content creators for the MSF community. What's up, guys? How's it going?
What up?
Hey, man.
So giggly.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Dude, Wolver, thank you so much for coming through, man. Appreciate you.
No problem. Appreciate you guys asking.
Yeah. So what we tend to do with this podcast, if you're new to this podcast, you can find us on Instagram at og.podcast, Twitter at overachieversp. Our website is beinoveraachiever.com, where you can get this episode and every other episode that we talk about gaming, fun stuff, fashion, not really fashion, but just what we love about video games and all the fun stuff. We've had a couple of cool guests on, continuing to have some cool guests on. We got some musical artists coming on the podcast upcoming who are also gamers, so it's fun. We like to mix it up. We have a good time, so it's good. But today specifically we're talking about Marvel Strike Force, which I'm assuming is why you're listening. And so there's a lot of stuff going on in the community since it's been 2 weeks since we recorded because of real life stuff. But to kick that off, I just want to say, WolverThor, where can people find you and watch your content and all that fun stuff?
So I'm mainly on YouTube, youtube.com /WolverThor. Search YouTube, WolverThor. It's just Wolver and then Thor. And then I actually just recently started a Patreon, but that's pretty, on the low levels. But again, patreon.com, WolverThor, Twitter, WolverThor, Facebook, WolverThor. The one difference is Twitch, I do have to do WolverThor official because either I forgot my password and couldn't recover it, or somebody actually already had it. So, and then I've got my own Discord channel as well. So, I've tried to cover the different platforms, but mainly I communicate the best on YouTube and Discord. So those are the main ones that anyone's looking to find me.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've tried doing our own Discord, and it's a lot of maintenance, man. I don't know how people have time to do
I'm
it.
starting really slow on it. I haven't even plugged it anywhere I would say big other than some videos, just kind of a link, and it's slowly trickling some people in. And I already had it kind of set up with some of my Alliance folks that I invited,
nice.
A couple content creators, and then I was like, you know what? I figure, this thing's, even if it's 60%, I'm like, whatever. So if it hopefully it gets bigger, and as it does, I'll figure out bots and things like that I need to use.
Right.
But I'm hoping I don't have to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, that's all. That seemed to be the case. We started it and was like, I don't even know what kind of channels to make, man. It's just
Exactly.
text channel. I was like, I put memes and general chat. That's pretty much it. I was like, what do I talk to my friends about? Memes and other stuff. So.
Yeah. I made one off-topic channel, and everything else is
That's it. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, that covers your bases. Game or off topic, just no
Basically,
politics. That's what we all ask for. So because that gets heated real quick. Anyway, so there's a lot that happened this past 2 weeks. The biggest one I think that people are interested to talk about, I'm curious to hear what you guys are thinking, or if you've been affected by, is the snap. So if you're not familiar with it, there was a big update that happened over the week. I think it was over last weekend.
Yeah.
And about 50% of people got kicked from their alliance based on when they implemented that auto timeout for alliances and whatnot. And if you're not sure what that is, essentially Fox Next said, "Hey, we're gonna put this in for alliance leaders, so that way if somebody's inactive for X amount of days, I think it's 3, 7, and 14 days that they can set it to,
right.
It'll automatically kick members for being inactive. So that way, in the event that something happens or someone goes away or just quits the game and you can't remove them for whatever reason, it'll automatically kick them." But
which nice sentiment at first.
I like what they did, but as always with Fox Next, there is a little bit of whoopsie daisy to that, and they when they implemented it, automatically kicked a whole bunch of people. And luckily for us in our alliance, nobody got kicked. But I saw that there's a couple in our cluster alliance, or in our main MCU Avengers alliance. There's a bunch of people who got kicked for that, as well as it was just a big snafu on Reddit, which is kind of crazy that they didn't send any in-game mail about, because if you aren't on social media, aren't on Reddit, and you all of a sudden you just got removed from your alliance. Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
That's not cool. But
That's
I don't know, what
really
do you
good
guys
point.
think about that?
Yeah,
I didn't get blipped, thank God.
I didn't either. Yeah, and thank God I didn't either. Nobody in my lines did, and I was just kind of like, all right. But I didn't think about that point about. I mean, I'd heard people talking about if you weren't on Reddit, etc. But you're right. Well, I mean, that was such an easy kind of way for Foxnex to tell these people who have no connection to, I'll quote, say the social community outside of the game, to let them know. And man, that would have been such an easy solution, just to kind of be like, hey guys, just so you know, we screwed up. We're fixing it. Just hang tight. We're going to try to get you back in your alliance.
Do you think that like, I don't know. I don't want to like talk smack on Foxnet. Like they have their problems, whatever, but they still make a game that we play every single day. But like, do you think at this point they're kind of just like, oh God, not another one? You know what I mean? Like,
hey, did you, by chance, do you guys ever listen to one of the other podcasts, Dorian's? I think Ravager.
I do. Yeah, I listened to the Ravager Report.
Did you listen to his interview with Bender?
I have not. It's on my list of things to listen to.
It sounded like my take. He made, and I'm paraphrasing here, but Bender made some comment about, you know, how they have to balance essentially getting things out to the community in a certain time frame versus essentially making sure they're perfect. And he didn't say it exactly like that, but you know, QC essentially.
Right, but
and I heard that and I'm like, yeah, I get that, but you know, there's certain things in my mind. It's like, as awesome as that tool is, yeah, exactly. And especially for a tool like that, the community's not raging about having that tool. So it's like, that would be one I'd be like, make sure it's just perfect, guys. Like, don't, I mean, and look, it's easy to judge now, but holy crap, that was a royal screw up.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there was once upon a time ago a test server that people could go on, which has been the point of contention for many people. Huh? I know. Right. It's just like, hey, you can test it out, but I guess they don't want people going on there and being like, well, this character sucks and this character's OP.
Exactly.
My guess is it's leaks, to be honest with you. And we could that's a rabbit hole we could go down, but I would think with all this secrecy and Marvel and everything, that's, if I had to guess, and I don't know this for certain, but
that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, just because, you know, even in the Envoy program, they give some information, and it seems like most of the people in the Envoy program, if not all of them, don't leak anything. But there are times where we're sitting there in this program going, well, this information's out, and these people already know, and
why not just let me say it?
Exactly, and we can't. So anyway.
Yeah, we're not part of the Envoy program yet. We're trying to get in there to do some stuff.
Yeah, just stay strong, keep pushing.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. And Dom's luckily is starting to stream this, and I've been streaming it as well.
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow morning. Well, if you're listening to this it would have happened 2 days before.
Yeah, because this comes out on Tuesdays.
I think since you say that, I think that's my plan now. Sunday mornings are my MSF time. Yeah, specifically. That's like if there's any time I can do it, it'll be that, just because.
Yeah, I have a bunch of orbs that I'm saving just to open on stream, which I might do after we're done here and stream for a little bit, and then, you know, because we don't have any plans, and it's super nice out today, at least here up in the Northeast, and I'm pretty stoked to go and check that out. And so also, since this, you know, in about a week ago as well, to kind of bring things back on topic a little bit, you know, the gamma raids have now been reintroduced. And lo and behold, guess what? They did nothing to fix the boss
how excited
difficulties.
I was for this gamma raid. I was like, oh my God, my brawlers are like feeling real good right now. I can't wait to like America Chavez. I can't wait to like get some more shards, because that's like none of my brawlers are easy shards anywhere.
You can't use them for the most part. You can't use them for the most part because they're raid specific.
No, that's fine. I don't want to use them in the raid. I just want to get the shards for them from the raid, is what I'm saying. And I was really excited to like build that team up, because they've become my favorite team.
Yeah.
And guess what? I haven't done any of that. None of it.
Nice. Yeah, that's garbage. It's interesting to see that they completely did. They said, okay, we'll take all this feedback from last time this came about, and be like, okay, we'll do. You know, we've heard your feedback. We'll adjust the boss nodes to make them less difficult, and they did nothing. It's literally the exact same. They just maybe switched out a couple of people, and that's it. They didn't tune it or anything.
That seems to be like what, you know, I didn't go looking, but the debate of what did they actually say when we complained about it. You know, I know for me,
good question.
I know they said, yes, we overtuned it. That I 100% know. My question was, did they actually say they're going to fix it? I never went looking into it, but some folks were like, well, technically they never said they'd fix it. I'm like, okay, well.
Dude, they live by technicalities.
I know. And that's where I'm like, I'm not at work here. I don't want to get, and I work in a construction realm where I deal with legal matters and stuff. I'm like, look, this is my downtime. I don't want to think about every word you just said and wait a minute, you gave yourself an out.
Yeah.
But, I definitely voiced my opinion on it last time and was hoping that it would get changed. And, we've lost some people in our alliance because, and the sentiment that I've kind of put forward is, look, we put a lot of investment in this game. You've got to keep the carrot in front of us enough where we think we're getting closer to it. I don't care if you don't let me grab it, but make me think I'm getting closer. And this is not that. It's too much. And, I've got a strong Guardians team. And it's like, I still struggle on a node. I've got a strong Kree team. And it's like, that boss node is at least 2 shots. At least. And it's like, anyway, it's
and not only that, but the whole fiasco of having everyone on the enemies having 100% turn meter out the gate is ridiculous. Like, I understand if you're gonna like give them like, all the regular nodes are like 20, maybe 30K. Like once you get higher up, but these boss nodes are like 55 to 60K, and it's insane. It's just like, come on, guys, just like give us a little bit. Like, I understand it's like, okay, it's a boss node, but it's like these boss nodes have 15 characters at 50K, and it's insane. It's like you almost have to send in a Suicide Squad just to kind of get rid of their ultimates, because when you come back around for round 2, guess what? They're going to be back at 100% turn meter out the gate. It's not like this is the first time it happens. No, every time you restart that node, everybody has 100% turn meter.
And like, me, like silly. With the lower level like squads, like my shield team is 120 right now, 120K. So I have trouble just as a lower level player as a lower level player getting through the intro, like the first node, like couple nodes where it's shield. Like that's hard enough for me.
Yeah.
And then I do get past that to the defenders because I go middle lane. And I have a 220K defender team, and it's like, that's hard. Like, it's like these should be, I get the first area, but like once I get to that next part, 220K should be nice. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it should account for something. I think my defenders are like a 230K, so I'm not far behind you because I got them to over 200K and I just stopped using them.
Like, who cares at that point, I think.
But yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I'm curious to see where they go with this, if they're going to bring in another version of a gamma raid, or if they're going to switch to like omega raids or something like that, or something else. I don't know.
Sucks. I want the gamma raid. That's the one I want the most.
Yeah, I like the fact that they have a chance for brawlers in this orbs, even though the orbs are not the greatest thing in the world. I kind of liked it was just dedicated charge for one character, but I do like the fact that they can give you all of different characters. Like I've gotten maybe 20 America Chavez orbs, which is great.
I
wish I could farm her in a different way, but
I got a 14 drop of Electra the other day, and I wanted to cry.
Hey man, you need those for those hand nodes for the ABCs, so the catalyst. You're going to need all of them. So. But it's just, I don't know. It
stinks.
It stinks. That's a good way of putting it. It really sucks. But
for me, I'm with you guys on that. I don't like it. And the thing that I guess is kind of that people have said to me as the counterpoint is, well, we've got to let we being Fox Next allow players to, new players to build up their teams, and this is one of those mechanisms. I'm like, okay. I get that concept, and there's a lot of different things in the game, but you're forgetting your end game type players here is maybe and I don't know how soon newer players jump into Gamma 4. I don't know if they're doing Gamma 3, but for obviously Gamma 1 through 3 can be those type of orbs, but I would think in Gamma 4, I don't know that there's just so many tunes in the game that you can use shards for. You mentioned Chavez. I mean, obviously Minerva's a different story. Everyone can use her, but before they made Sinister Six is now completely farmable before, Falcon and Rescue, who are just in orbs. It's like, there's so many other tunes that you could have in those orbs that people need. And even if it's RNG, you're getting 5 or 6, every day or so. It's like, okay, so what? It's not going to get you to 7-star quickly.
No, never.
Yeah. Exactly. I can't remember, Dom. Did we on the last episode? I think that came out a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was this past week, where we talked about the point that you just made, WolverThor. I'm trying to remember what it was specifically, but
about the concept of just having newer players be able to catch up.
Yes, I think we talked about that with Valley last episode when we talked about like it's a good catch up mechanic to have that, and then also with regards to that for the newer players, that's a great catch up mechanic. But when you're in like Ultimus or Gamma 4 for like where the veterans are, essentially is like have that be a little bit more of a drop rate or more fine tuned, or give it to
it's about balance.
different
And I
character.
think that's the problem that this game has had forever.
Yeah.
And like, granted, I'm not playing as long as most of y'all, but like, I can even see it's balance. Balance is tough for this studio, and I get it. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say how it should be because I don't make video games, and I think it's hard to sit there. Well, it should be like this, because I don't do that. I'm not in their world. I don't know what they have to go through or any of that stuff. But it just seems like there's not a good level of balance for like nearly anything that goes on.
Yeah, and the next part of that is war, and I hear like Chu and Roy kind of beat that drum quite a bit too, because they're at the upper echelon, right? And so if you're Fox Next, you've got to balance, because one of the things that I appreciate about the upper echelon of players, all those whales, is they support the game. They put so much money into this game. It's like
100%.
So I don't have any problem with Fox Next catering to them to an extent, but it's like, guys, that's, and so the spectrum is like, on this end, it's like, well, now you're catering to players who aren't your whales necessarily, or maybe some of them become whales, but I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of all over the board there. And I like you said, I'm not a gamer or developer. I've never been in that realm, but I'd love to know kind of what the thought process is behind that.
Totally. 100%. And like, I agree with you 100%. And that's just another thing I was saying the other day is like, we can't, there's nothing wrong. Like, it's great we have whales. Whales are how we have the game. Like I remember someone posted on Reddit like, "Hey, I just dumped $7,000 into trying to buy this." You saw that post?
That's crazy.
I wish I knew word for word. What did they dump? They dumped like $7,000 to what?
Yeah, well, I've seen a couple. One was, and I know the guy who posted it. I talked to him a little bit playing a different game on the Switch as a Marvel game, and yeah, it was like $7,300 trying to get. And I don't know if it was specific to Red Stars or not, but he said he had spent $7,300 on the game. And that he had 0.7 Red Stars was his concept.
Yeah,
it was just like,
that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, and that's, I mean, I've seen a bunch of other people since then where he's messaged support to figure out how much he spent, where they're like, "Oh my God, I've spent 5,000. I've spent 10,000. And I'm just like, and look, way back, and this is not to self-promote here, but way back in the day when I first started content creating, I think one of the first videos I did that kind of drew attention to my channel from people was how much money you could spend on this game just getting tunes up. And it was, it was like $40,000 plus.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It was and that was before Red Stars. So it was like the money you can drop is nuts.
Funny you mentioned that. I've made a conscientious decision to stop spending money on the game.
Yeah, I've been the same. I think I say that now, but that I want to stop. But I really think that once Fantastic Four are over, I've made a conscious decision, because we're in a very war-centric guild or alliance, and so we've really focused on that. And I'm in the offense.
Well, like, I was never shy. So. I would definitely nowhere near whale status, but like, I'll make sure my door's closed so Mallory doesn't hear me.
I've whaled out on a couple things, and I don't mind doing it.
For my level, I whaled a couple times, especially for when Fury was about to drop. I needed some Kree stuff, so I just dropped like probably $100. But like, and that's fine, and all that's fine. But like, oh God, can you hear those sirens?
Yeah, it's okay. Just keep going.
Okay. But like, I need to start saving money for like a bunch of personal stuff, and I'm like, even though it's just $2 here and there, because that's what I usually do. I'll buy the Power Core / training bundle or whatever. I'll do, like, if it's like $2, who cares? But that stuff adds up.
It
that
does.
Stuff adds up so much.
It's
so
crazy.
Much.
It's crazy how fast that goes. And for me, when anybody ever asks me, like, well, what do you think? I don't want to spend a bunch of money, but I can't catch up. And it's like, well, this game is about resource management. So you've got to look at the offers and say, like, which one of these is the best way for me to increase a certain thing? For me, my favorite offer in the game is that 3,000 energy for 20 or $25 or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. You get 600k gold from just farming nodes on that, plus everything else that you get on the gear and shards, etc. So it's like,
for sure,
that's a good one. But as a content creator, one of the things I do is always get the orbs up front. But again, that adds up. It's like, I think $20 for 40 shards if you're lucky, or at the short end or the floor of it. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I don't buy any Red Star offers. I don't buy any of that other stuff. I don't, these special offer. Yeah, no way. One
time I bought 10k orb for Red Star. Oh. I didn't get a single, I'm like getting mad thinking about it. What a bad decision that was. That could have been like, I think it was like $30 or whatever it was. That could have been like 30 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's right there, all out the window.
I mean, that's a good way of thinking it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's how I judge every sale.
Cheeseburgers and just
dollar double cheeseburgers, man. You listen. Those have saved me so many times when I was down and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I fully agree. I think that, even though to continue my point earlier, I was saying that once Fantastic Four are done and over with, I think that's really going to solidify my, like, okay, I'm done really spending money on this game unless there's like those mishaps with the $1.99 thing offer.
Right.
Then it's like, then I'll spend $1 here and there because. Like,
but you know what it really was too, actually. Besides, because like I'm getting a big back piece started tattooed soon, and like that's gonna be so much money. So like besides personal stuff like that, also, and I'm sure we're gonna talk about this anyway, the Marvel 80th anniversary sale.
Oh yeah.
Like a sale. I hope you could feel the quotation marks when you're listening to this when I say sale. Because
let's just jump right into that because that was part of the things I want to talk about.
I figured that was the case. I'm getting mad thinking about that too because what is that?
Yeah, what do you guys think about those quote unquote offers?
It's almost insulting. It's almost insulting that that's even an offer. That these are offers.
Yeah, I agree. It's very much like, okay, 70% off of what? The original? What am I getting from here? You give me like 200 Elite 4 credits, which it cost 5,000 to get originally. Like, come on, what is this? This is not doing anything.
Yeah,
this is not helping.
It's
who in their right mind
insulting.
thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I'm with you guys 100% on that. I'm assuming, and I don't remember if I saw this on Reddit or where this chat was at, but there was someone behind the scenes doing some metrics where we're giving them extra stuff, so it should be good. And it's like, you're not giving me anything I need. I'm not paying $30 for 250 Elite credits, dude, where it's like, seriously. Even at Elite 4, it's like 250 is nothing. It's a 16th of what I need, and I'll probably get a 4-star dupe anyway. It's just...
Like right now, I just want to read this one. Daily Orb Bundle, 425 power cores, 2,000 Red Star orbs, 2,000 premium orbs. That's two orbs you're going to open.
For just how much? How many cores?
425 cores, which costs...
It's like... Is that $5?
That's just a core offer.
$7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof, man.
2-star duplicate for Red Star and a potential, 15 shards of a AIM
Wolverine
researcher.
Yeah,
Wolverine.
Daredevil, something we already have 7 stars of. So it's like, you know what that could have been? $7 double cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
So, that's the metric for everything for now.
You guys, you're gonna think about this. Is gonna be in your head. You're gonna make some big purchase in your life, and you're like, "Oh my god, how many cheeseburgers can I buy here?"
If I ever redo that money video, I'm gonna put that off to the side if I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, and that's the thing is, and this is a thing about balance too, is their economy also isn't balanced. Everything that I find, the woes I have when I come back to this game, are just about balance, and it's like, I don't know, balance your shit. You know what I mean?
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah, for sure. But I understand, and we've beat this. We've talked about this on length before, but like I understand like when the game first comes out and then it has no.
That's your excuse.
It doesn't have a user base and all this stuff, but now there's like there's something like 5 to 10 million people playing this game.
Is there really?
And something crazy like that. It's like number 4 downloaded on the Android store or something crazy like that. And there's also like last year. I'm curious to see what they made this year, but last year they made $150 million, and then they launched. They did a soft launch at the beginning of the year, and they officially launched in March. So it's like $150 million in 9 months is pretty crazy. But like, okay, I get that. Now you've made all this money. Why don't you just like take a step back, reevaluate maybe year 2. Or now this is, this will be year 2 or year 3. It's like, okay, see where you can go with your economy and balancing everything like that. And I have a theory that all of these mishaps, like the $1.99 thing offers or the $19.99, is a test. I honestly think that's what it's going to be because
That's very interesting.
Because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Like, why would they intentionally let some people have it and others don't? And then all of a sudden they when people catch up to be like, oh, well, the thing offer was $1.99, so on and so forth. And then they offer it to everyone, and then they see how many people buy the offers, and they use that as part of their metrics. So I think that's where it should go, personally. And then that makes it then they can go to their higher ups and their bosses and people who, at Fox, because that's who owns Fox Next is Fox.
Oh, I know that.
So let's say, it's Fox Next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's owned by Disney. Of Fox/Disney now.
Yeah, so it's now they're seeing what their how everything is. So that's what I think is going to happen. It's just interesting concept that's the case, because honestly, I would rather have all these lower offers, even though that means I don't buy as many, because now I know. But right. Maybe I have a crazy week and I have a ton of meal penalties and I make an extra $60. I play this game all the time, so yeah. If I have a couple offers that are of good value and it help my team out, yeah, maybe I'll spend $60 on the game, sure. But for even though I bought the Namor shards, $50 for unlocking a character. I hate myself a little bit.
Yeah, and that's, look, one disclaimer I want to put out there is I'm never going to judge somebody for what they spend their money on, as long as it doesn't hurt somebody else and it doesn't, hurt their family situation. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's it hurts you inside your soul. It hurts me. It's cheeseburgers you're thinking about. It's why you could have done so much better with that.
Yeah, 100%. So, all right, well.
Yeah, anyway, so I'm just, let people do what they want, but yeah, more people to spend for those $1.99s, et cetera. It's kind of I don't know. I think you're right. I think that AB thing, that could be interesting. I'd be curious to see how it plays out.
Yeah, for sure. So with all of that, the Thing event had ended also on Friday. So that was yesterday as we're recording this on a Saturday. So how did you guys make out with the Thing event? I was lucky enough to get him to 6-star.
Dang,
and
nice.
I think I'm a third of the way to 7-star. I save my cores for those events. So essentially, that's what I'm powering through with Arena and whatnot, to be able to refresh those nodes and refresh those shards and get energy for those special events to kind of get those characters built up a little bit. But how'd you guys make out with that?
So I'm similar. I'm a arena player. I've got a stash of cores for refreshing those. I only refresh to once it hits 100. But I'm about 80 shards shorter than you. I'm 23 into the 7-star.
Oh, cool.
I got some of the orb offers as well too. I mainly do those to try to make sure I can do some content on them. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where he's at on there.
I'm nearly at 4, which sucks.
Hey,
I wanted more, but I just didn't have the time, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the realistic nature of a mobile game. Sometimes you just don't have the
time. But I love
the
Thing, though.
Yeah, he's a powerhouse, man.
He's my 5th place now in Brawlers.
Yeah, him and Namor are roughly about 35K for me, and even without the rest of the Fantastic Four, they just destroy in war. It's ridiculous. After seeing the two of them, because I used them at both when they were 25K, just to clear, I punched out maybe 5 or 10K in a quick match, and they just made short work of everybody. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm gonna invest in this. This is definitely a thing that's coming forward. So I'm curious to see how the rest of it shapes out.
Yeah.
And I really like what they did with the Invisible Woman criteria. Even though they announced it was Sinister Six, it kind of gives the people who spent a little bit of money, a way to get ahead of the game, which I understand. But they also allowed them to be farmable. And recently they just put Shocker and Cosmic 1-9. There's Rhino is in the Blitz store, in the Blitz orbs, and also he's getting 2 Blitzes coming this week. Probably actually will be out by the time this starts, because that Blitz starts on a Tuesday, or it'll probably be Sunday night they might announce that, or is it Monday morning? I think it's Monday night.
Yeah, I think it's the Monday night one.
Yeah. So by the time this comes out, that Blitz may have started, but I'm not sure, or it might be in September. We don't know how. Wait, that's Fantastic Four. I was thinking ahead to stuff, but then they gave Vulture in the Arena store, and then they gave Mysterio in the Raid store, which I'm not crazy about, but still at the same time, at least he shows up. He showed up every single day for me so far, and I just saved my arena credits or my raid credits to just buy him outright, because there's too much RNG with the raid orb right now if you're trying to farm him specifically. So there's that
for sure.
Yeah, I'm sad to say that I'm refreshing the raid store to try to get him
just
up.
to get him.
Yeah, I've got a 6 red star Mysterio. I'm pretty sour on Sinister Six, and I still am. I don't think they're a great team. I know if you invest T4s in them and get them to 320K, they can beat 330K top teams, etc. But that's, again, another rabbit hole I don't want to go down. But I'm refreshing the raid store to get that Mysterio, hopefully to 6-star for a 6-star Invisible Woman is my hope. But
there you go.
Yeah, I'm like about 30 shards shy of getting him 5-star, and then Shocker is my one that's going to take a while. I've refreshed his node the past, he's been out for a day or so, or 2 days since Thursday. 3 days in a row, I've refreshed him all the way to 100 power cores, and I've gotten 2 shards so far in total in the past 3 days. So there's that, and that's always what happens with RNG, but he's going to be the determining factor. I'll probably have to dip into some 100 core refreshes to kind of get him to where I need him, because he's right now at, I think he's at 3 stars right now. So and I just got him to 3 stars, like just got the 55 of 55 this morning. So I was like, oh goodness, here we go.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. Either way, it's happening. So anyway, coming up after this is what's coming new, and I'm guessing since this is towards the end of August, that means the Phoenix event is coming up very soon. There's also talks of a Shuri as well. Well, September's right around the corner, buddy. It's a week away. Seriously, it's the 24th.
No, but I mean, I'm sorry. I was more asking that the next Phoenix event is September.
Yeah, so there's a good chance now that we're going to start having more legendary characters show up all the time now, because they rumored, or not rumored, but they talked about it in their newest blog post that came out. And I'll link that in the description, so if you want to take a look at that. That blog post talks about that Shuri's coming soon, and then they know that we don't know if that's maybe next week or a week after or something like that. And then Phoenix is coming back in September, so if you all didn't get a chance to get Phoenix the first time around, you'll be able to chance to get her now. And I'm very close to unlocking her at 7 stars, so I'm curious to see what I need for a team for that, because I really don't want to put materials and time and energy into Hand Assassin or Nobu right now. But so Loki, Ronin, and I forget the third or the fifth one off the top of my head. Mordo, yes, it would be decent to put some energy into. Maybe I'll bump them to like tier 11 or something like that, just to be on the safe side. But
you won't need to.
No, you don't think so? They're all sitting around 160K for me right now.
I saw somebody beat. I think you might be fine. I'd save the resources, but don't put them into them.
All right, yeah, because I know in Ronin and Loki are 2 that I use like on the regular. But
those no big deal. I remember taking mine to 70. There's some people who had a Hand Assassin at like, I want to say like less than 5K and beat it. So
great.
Yeah,
I think it'll be okay then.
Yeah, I think unless they retune it, which is definitely a possibility, but
that's always a possibility. We never know what's happening. Yeah. And so with the Phoenix event happening, we don't know when specifically in September. It could either be the beginning or ending. I'm going to guess it's probably going to be at the end. But then the Invisible Woman is also slated to come out in the middle of December as well. So there's a lot. There's 3 legendary characters that you can possibly get out the gate with these, within like a month, essentially, which I think is pretty cool. And you can use the same characters from Shuri than you can for Invisible Woman. So that's a first. I didn't really know. I didn't think the Fox Next was going to allow you to unlock 2 legendaries with the same criteria, which, obviously Sinister Six is just for Invisible Woman, but they're also Spider-Verse tag, and Spider-Verse is what you need for
I didn't think about
Shuri.
that.
Yeah. I will get Shuri to 7-star this time around, so I'm excited.
Well, I'll be able to at least unlock Shuri now, which is nice. I have my Spider-Verse nearly at that point. 2 guys are at 3-star, but I'm not worried about that. They'll be easily got. Everyone else is 5, so I think I'll be okay for Shuri next time she comes around.
Yeah, so that's what I'm looking forward to. And so once I get Shuri to 7 stars, then I'm going to start pushing a Wakanda team, I think, because my Okoye is very close to 6 stars, and Killmonger is just about there at 5, and I have Black Panther. I'll have Shuri at 7, and then also M'Baku is also 7. So it'll be good. I think I'm going to start pushing them just to have.
Wakanda is still not like the best at rating, though, right? Even though
but it'll just have another team for Ultimate 7 whenever that drops.
Oh, fair. Yeah.
But
that's fair.
Yeah, I was debating whether I was going to say anything about the Wakandans or not. I was going to ask more about where your other teams were at, but it sounds like you're looking for another raid team, which makes sense. I mean, especially in Ultimate 7. I've heard an extremely strong, like everything maxed, Wakandans and Ultima 7 gets decently far. For me, I don't have the T4 mats for that. I want to put them into Fantastic Four, and Fantastic Four. I don't know if you've looked at their T4s. That's going to be, probably 1900 T4s right there too. So
it's going to be
that's
a lot.
before Invisible Woman. So it's no small hill to climb.
Not at all.
Yeah, and luckily with the block party coming up tonight. So as of this recording, that'd be Saturday night. We'll have that, and hopefully it'll give us a little bit more of those events to help with attaining T4s and everything. So that would be good. But I haven't really put too much time and energy into Wakandans. I have a best Kree team essentially, which is Thanos, Minerva, Rocket, Groot, and Star-Lord as my main raid team. Now that's about 300k right now. And that's my main U7 team, and then I have my defenders at 230k, and then I have a shield team that's like 180k, and just having another team just to go through that node with, just to have as a backup, or throw in as a, just maybe use a different team to throw in as a suicide team if need be, just to kind of go. Luckily, we're not at that point where we're not pushing for 100%, so I don't have to be too concerned about it. But last time U7 came around, we got to 75% pretty easily. I think I mainly ran out of energy and I didn't really push too hard. So I could have gone further, but we got to like those final boss nodes and we're just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. But
that's, I'm just thinking about like teams to work on once Fantastic Four are done. And then I'm not really too concerned about that unless Fox Next decides to, drop another like OG or OP raid team on us or arena team. Who knows? But maybe they'll finally release Coulson and Cyclops. Who knows?
Yeah, Cyclops.
One day.
I called Cyclops the Kaiser Soze of Marvel Strike Force in a video the other day.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. But anything else that's coming out that you guys are looking forward to in the next, it could be in the next couple of weeks or whatever, something that's, might be popping up or anything?
Besides the possibility of Shuri, not really. I'm nowhere near Phoenix, so I'm chilling on that.
For me, Fantastic Four obviously is a big one that I'm saving up for. You mentioned Cyclops. Who knows when he's coming? It's not the next week or so, but I'm sitting on 700 ABCs right now for Fantastic Four and him, which is really, really annoying me. So I'd like to know when he's coming out, but like you said, I was struggling before Fantastic Four. I'm just scrolling through my teams now, and I wasn't sure exactly what to build up. I brought America Chavez up stronger. My shield and defenders are both under 200k, right in the 190-ish range. So I'm like, should I bring them higher?
Right.
But Wakandans are like 175, but I don't want to use the T4s. Mm-hmm. Sinister Six, I hate them, but if I invest more, can they beat defenders, a little bit more legitimately? Thor, is he going to get a rework? Is Hela coming to the game? Like all types of different. So I'm just kind of like, what am I going to do? So
right.
And I don't know if did you guys pay any attention to the D23 news at all?
I have not, no.
So essentially, if for those of who don't know, D23 is like a Disney Expo. It's basically Comic-Con type thing for Disney.
Yeah.
And they announced a Moon Knight and She-Hulk TV.
I'm sorry, yes. And then also Miss Marvel too.
Exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point there's a She-Hulk or Moon Knight. And who knows when those guys are coming in, but that could be a year from now. But so there's all these different things out there, and I know you said next week, but I went to the next year.
Well, no, that's good. That's good to note because we still have to remember that this Marvel is a Disney property, and they're pumping money and they're pumping out content, and like that. That means hopefully that their side hustles will also be doing the same. You know what I mean? So no, that's a good point to bring up. It'd be cool to. I'd be so interested to see what Moon Knight's abilities would be, but that's definitely a long way off.
Yeah, not to go off on a quick tangent, but I don't know if you saw the battle between Sony and Disney this week with the Spider-Man.
I think the whole world has seen that. I feel bad for Marvel's Instagram right now because no matter what they post, the comments are just "Give us Spider-Man, give us Spider-Man. We want Spider-Man."
I just want to know why Sony all of a sudden relinquished. Was it because they thought that Venom did well in the theaters?
No, here's what exactly happened. If you don't know, Far From Home was a Marvel cinematic top in regards to profit. It's the most money a Spider-Man movie has made, Far From Home. Marvel came to the table and we're like, yo, we want to change the deal. We think we deserve it. 50-50 split. Sony's like, nah, fam. We think that Tom Holland Spider-Man can live on his own in his own universe. And Marvel was like, all right, good luck, essentially. So the deal essentially it's still actually being, it's not completely done. And I think if Sony was smart, they would see the outcry and would be like, oh, okay, fair. And they'll put it back. But here's the thing, couple of things about that. I know this is a tangent. I'm sorry, Marvel Strike First World, but you'll live.
It's in the universe.
It's in the universe. Also, like, if you don't like Spider-Man, I don't want you to listen to my podcast, and you can at me on that one.
That's Ashy Pastrami on all platforms.
Ashy Pastrami, ASHI. But Tom Holland has said he won't play Spider-Man without being in the MCU. He said that, and I think he means it. I think he enjoys being a part of it. He hangs out with Robert Downey Jr. They chill. They're like buds. And not only that, there is no way that from this point on, a Spider-Man story can exist that makes sense because you've already set up too many plots a part of the MCU. You're losing Happy. You're losing the Avengers. No mentions of Tony Stark and his mentorship of Peter Parker. Like, you can't. What are you going to do? Just forget that all happened? Like, it's almost impossible. Not only that, they only have the rights to use Spider-Man, Spider-People, and Peter Parker. That doesn't mean that, like, or at least I think, I mean, it would be interesting to see if then Marvel was like, great, here's Miles Morales Spider-Man, maybe not call him Spider-Man. Here's Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman. Here's, what the hell was Jess's name? She's a Spider-Woman too. There's other Spider people, so maybe they try to finagle it. I don't know. There's definitely ways that Marvel can still come on top. I mean, no matter what, Marvel's going to come on top. Like, there's not like Sony is like hurting Marvel. It's more so that Sony's hurting themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So it can only last so long. That's the only thing. You can only have Tom Holland be Peter Parker for so long before it's like, well, we can't do more Marvel stuff with them. So I think they're going to change it. And if they don't, they're idiots. Sony, you could at me on that one.
I can't wait to see those responses if they do. It'd be great.
Yeah, and I totally agree with all that. I kind of followed it over the last few days, and it's Sony. I think will eventually, quote unquote, back down because I think they'll see the light and see that there's more money to be made, even if they give Marvel / Disney more of the money that they're coming out better anyway. It's just not.
That's the funny thing is because it's not like, don't get me wrong, Marvel, the CEO of Marvel is not a good person. Like he's definitely done some tracy stuff, but like this wasn't even like they're like, oh, 70-30, what's up, fam? There's 50-50. Like, come on, like it's their character. He's part of their universe. Like, by the grace of good contracts, you have Spider-Man, Sony. That was it. Like,
because Marvel was broke and they had to sell off all their IP.
They had to, and it makes sense. And now it's like, it's funny. I did one last thing before we get back into it. I did see a funny meme where it was like, Sony, how much for? It was like Disney. It was like, Sony, how much for Spider-Man? They're like, not for sale. And then Disney was like, great, how much for Sony? It's like, you never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could just buy out Sony Pictures. That'd be hilarious if that would be the case, but who knows?
All right, take us back in, Charlie.
All right, so with that, we have a segment we'd like to talk about with other guests on there. It's called Love It or Hate It. So we talk about one thing that we love about the game so far and one thing that we hate about the game. And we always like to end on a positive note, so we'll talk about the hating part first. So WolverThor, since you're our guest this week, what do you hate about the game?
I'm going to say something along the lines of war with either the frequency or boost. I don't know. If you're forced me to pick one, I'm going to say boost because I think that if the boosts weren't in there, I might not care that it's so frequent. I know it's only 3 days a week, but it's just, I'm a leader of my alliance, and God, I feel like I just need to focus on that so much and tag people. Hey, boost, I've got this ready. Got to boost this. That it's not healthy. It's annoying. It frustrates me. So that's if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with that.
That's fair. We did. We went up against one of our cluster alliances in a war one time, and we agreed across the board to not do any boosts, and it was the most fun I ever had in war because it's like. Yeah, well, because like you're not worried about that extra, your first attack's like getting essentially deflected out the gate. And also, like, you can save resources and all that stuff. And I understand why they wanted to do something along those lines to give you a reason to spend blitz credits out the gate. But also, it's, you know, I don't know. I just thought it was a lot more fun, and it made us race to see who could beat the other alliance out before the other. And spoiler alert, it was us. We won. We did the full clear first, and that was it was just a lot of fun. I don't know. It was the most fun I've ever had in a war, and I hope we come up against another cluster alliance soon, so that way we can just continue to, you know, not use boosts and also save our stuff. But yeah. All right, Dom, what do you hate about?
I wish, one of my biggest complaints about Red Star specifically is that if I get a 4-star Red Star, I feel like that should automatically give me the stars I would need to be at 4-star Red Star. And it really sucks that I just got a 4-star Red Star Minerva and I'm only at 2 stars Minerva.
Yeah, that's...
So it's like, I wish that if for all the trouble that Red Stars are, I feel like I would feel less bad about them is if they automatically boosted that character to whatever stars you would need for it to be at the required 4-star. So it's almost irrelevant that I have the 4-star there because I only have 2 stars on her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I wish
exactly.
that was a boost, to be honest.
Yeah, and also I kind of wish that if you pull a duplicate out of a basic Red Star orb, that it gives you the so if you have like a 6 Red Star, you know, like I have a 6 Red Star Carnage, and I pull a 7 Red Star Carnage out of a basic, it doesn't give you the 6 Red Star elite credits that you would get if you had pulled a 7 Red Star Carnage out of a 6 Red Star orb. So it's like, I wish that was the case. So if it's an upgrade, you're only getting elite 4
You know
credits.
what that sounds like the problem there is?
A coding problem?
Balance.
Balance also works. Yes.
What about you?
But,
What's your
I think my hate right
take.
now is it's just the boss nodes in Gamma 4. Like as we're speaking and doing this, I'm actually doing a Gamma 4 rig because I realize I had max energy and I need to use it. And I'm not going to have time later on. Oh, maybe I will because I'll be streaming. But either way, I just don't like the boss nodes right now in the game. I just think it's just ridiculous.
Agreed.
That's
I think everyone agrees. I don't think there's a single person that's like, oh, I'm cool. Even like whales.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that it's like it takes time to, like it takes like teamwork, which is I think is what they intended it to be. But at the same time, it's like maybe not so much teamwork. I mean, if I have 300k teams, I should be able to clear it.
Yeah,
that's just
I'm with you, 100%. There's no point.
Way.
That's like top tier.
Yeah. Otherwise, why am I quote unquote spending money to get better if I can't get there or whatever. But anyway, all right. So what do you like about the game right now, WolverThor?
I was thinking about that, and the obvious answer is the Marvel IP. You know, and it's like I love the Marvel, but that's like that doesn't count. That's in terms of
I've actually said that as my first one. Funny enough.
Have you?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was like, well, man, what keeps me? Because you always want to complain about something. I'm like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do this, and for me, the part that I do kind of like about the game is the PvP / alliance mentality that you got, where like me / my alliance are attacking or fighting another team, and like I find that those type of games are the ones that really keep people coming back. I don't know if you guys ever played a game like League of Legends, but you have this widget essentially, and you're using that widget versus someone else's, and it's about a competition of I'm better than you, and then when you add my group is better than your group, and that's kind of what the game is, and that's at the base of all of these games. And I do think that Foxnext does and is doing a decent job of kind of harnessing on that for keeping the longevity of the game. So, between Arena and War, and, I think War really needs some tweaks to be able to, because I think there's a lot of burnout right now, but I'm hoping that they're going to have some longevity there. So I'll call it the kind of like the PvP type nature of the game is still, one of my favorite aspects, even though it also was one of my top negatives too. I know that's weird. It's just the yin and the yang of the game, I guess.
Oh, totally, man. My thing I currently love, and this is just one instance of my RNG, was I just unlocked Star-Lord, and immediately, right after, I got 4 Red Star on Star-Lord.
Ooh.
Like, couldn't talk about better timing for RNG to actually shine upon me,
Yeah, 100%. That's great. You lucked out with that.
I know, seriously. Like, it's been great. I love it.
So that's what you love, just the fact that you pulled a nice drop.
In this instance, yes. In this very instance, that is what I love. Yes.
Nice, awesome. I would say for me, I'm really loving. the new Blitz milestones. That's what I'm saying. As of this, like I think that this Blitz milestone is probably the best that Fox Next has done, and that is like, you're using the Marvel 80th characters to essentially create blitzes, and you're getting orbs from them, or getting credits for them. You can open orbs, and open the orbs opens up Namor, and you can get him if you didn't pay for him out the gate, as well as being able to, I don't need Iron Fist, but it's good that they're bringing this back in to tie in with the upcoming block party that's about to happen today. So it's just an interesting. I think they really kind of, in one hand, they've learned some stuff and they've done some cool stuff, and on the 90% of the time they just like, oh well, this is us. Like, we're gonna totally screw everybody over. So it's just like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand it at times, but that's what I'm loving. Is just I'm not trying to go push really hard in Blitz. I'm just literally loading up my teams and just hitting auto during the day, just because I don't have time otherwise. Same. But I'm already at like 4 million just from doing that. So I'm not pushing hard at all. I'm just doing it for the credits. That's it. So, but that's what I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the new milestones that they put out. And I'm curious to see who they're going to put in the new, milestones as well for, World Warrior and spending gold and all that stuff. So. Yeah. That's fair. All right. So we already know what Dom's pull for the week is with Red Stars. So we talked about Red Stars and how we're doing with them and what we're doing. So do you want me to skip you, Dom, for that, or are you good? You want to brag again?
No, that was it. I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay, cool. WolverThor, are you doing any? Did you pull anything good for Red Stars this week, or
no? Unfortunately, holding on? No. I mean, I'm like trying to remember the last good Red Star pull I've even got. I'm just looking at my roster here, and it's like, I mean, I do have a couple 6s, but 2 of them are minions. One of them's Black Widow, who's no longer really relevant. But this past week, no. I mean, I am sitting on 11. I think I got Namor at 2, so yay, I guess. It's better than 0.
For sure.
And Thing, I've only got 2 on him, and so yeah, my Red Star luck is honestly terrible. So yeah, I've got nothing good to share there. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but I don't.
Yeah, I'm still hoarding orbs since last time I pulled. I think last time we talked about this, I pulled a 4 Red Star Namor and a 4 Red Star Thing. So I'm just chilling with that, and that's my rule for myself is whenever there's a 10% drop rate for something, I tend to just once I get 4 Red Stars, I stop pulling, because that's essentially what I'm going for, and that's good enough for me. And in reality, like, I would like a 5 or 6 Red Star, but like, probably the odds of pulling that are not in my favor. Totally. So I just stick to what I think is a good value. So we go with that. And I'm with all of the login credits and everything like that. I'm up to now 11 elite 4 Red Star orb save. So I'm going to hold off on all that, and I will be saving that for Invisible Woman, I think. I was going to save for Cyclops, because I thought that she, I didn't know what her kit was yet, but now after seeing that she gives barrier based on health, I think that
Invisible Woman?
Invisible Woman, yeah. Okay. Having her have as high Red Stars as possible, if you can get lucky with it, is going to be very important for war. Sure. And since I'm building a war team for Fantastic Four, I think that's what I'm going to save my elite credits for. So I'll probably stream that when that actually pops up, and I'll record that and make that a video, and I think it'll be fun to see.
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of elites. That's definitely. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Hopefully, we'll get a good drop there.
We'll see. I have not had a great success rate with the Elite Fours yet. I have 4 or 6 Red Star characters, and they've all come from basic Red Star orbs so far. So we'll see what happens outside with that. But and just to clean us up, we tend to talk about war results, but we kind of talked about it a little bit with just war in general. But I think that's kind of until they have a big rework. I don't know if that's quite the necessity to talk about. But I know for us, we've been going on a winning streak for our alliance, because we got some new blood in, and they've helped push, and we have war in like an hour and whatnot. But yeah, actually, we'll just touch on it real quick. How's your war results going so far this week, WolverThor?
We've actually, I don't know if a lot of alliances are doing this, but we've got some folks who don't blitz quite as much. So we made a kind of a decision that we said to some folks, like, look, Fantastic Four is a great war team. Don't worry about hitting the minimum attacks and boosts like normal. So buy, Rhino if you need to. so that you can unlock Invisible Woman. So having said that, it's kind of cost us in war a bit. I think we're on a 2-game losing streak, and we're playing a Wakanda team today. We beat them last time, but I think we're down. And I've been busy trying to do videos and some family stuff, so I haven't been pushing the alliance. And the last 2 seasons we were top 100, and this season I think might be our 3rd loss in a row. So I think we're gonna probably drop down into that 3+% bracket. But it's not great. But I don't know. The rewards, honestly, I'm kind of like, well.
Yeah, it's not that big a difference, to be completely honest, for how much you have to push. So
we'll see. Right now, the score, our current war ends in about 7 hours. We're down just under 100 points, and we've still got their bridge and reactor up, and though they're pushing pretty hard, they've got some. It looks like they're bringing a couple rooms down to just like two left, and they're just probably gonna just clean it, wholesale. So. Yeah. But we'll see. So probably another loss, but yeah. So nothing too exciting to share, unfortunately. But
how about for you, Dom?
Well, this is our volunteer war, and we're going as Agents of Trim, who I never heard of. But they are so good. They have a 200K hand team. So if you have that,
okay,
we're losing 1,200 to 300. But granted, it's our voluntary one. But even if it wasn't, I don't think we would be winning. We won our first one, and we lost our second one this week by 20 points. 20.
Oh, you had the thing I had the other day.
It was like 15, like 30 to like 15 or something, and it was so. Oh man, it was so close, but it happens. We're a pretty war centric group, and like we do fairly well on like fast boosting and fast like debuffs and stuff like that, but. That one got us. That was a bummer. But this one, who cares? Like, we don't care about Fridays. Lucky, even if we did, thank God we don't, because this would have been worthless.
Yeah, 100%. That's it's crazy at times. I don't know.
Team.
That's 200K. Oh man, I haven't even seen who we're up against this time again. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So team advice. Do you have any team advice for us or anything else, WolverThor, for anyone who might be listening?
It depends kind of what your focus is of the game. Obviously, you mentioned War and Fantastic Four. I'm really high on them even before seeing Invisible Woman's energy and specific T4s. That's for me. War is becoming kind of a central focus of the game, whether you like it or not. Right. And besides them, I would probably go X-Men. I'm stealing from you guys. I apologize, but
that's fine.
Sure, no, it's fine.
X-Men and Power Armor. To me, those 3 teams. Forget BKT, BKE. I like to say BKE just to screw around, but even though no one really knows what that necessarily means, but those teams to me are kind of the top 3-4 teams that you could really focus on and. They get you, pretty much in any game mode doing pretty well.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. And then for our last segment that we talk about is our favorite character at the moment. So since you're our guest again, you're more than welcome to go first.
I'm going to pass for right now and come back to me. Let me think about this.
Dom, what do you got for...
Obviously.
Well, yeah. Oh, I forgot. You're fresh on the dance.
What's the name of the team? Where it's Thanos, Star-Lord, Minerva, Groot, and Rocket?
BKT.
Yeah, that was the one I was joking about being BKE, where I call best Cree ever, but
that's funny.
The right way to say it is probably BKT or Minardians. People call it too.
Dude. Oh my God, what a team! Every other turn, being able to Rocket alt, this is the best.
It really is. It's fun.
I love Thanos. Like, Thanos is super fun. I also unlocked him literally right after I got Star-Lord. So everything, the stars aligned.
The Star-Lord's aligned.
The Star-Lord's aligned when I got that unlock with Star-Lord. Super fun team. I use that team in everything now. Like, everything. It's great.
Yeah. Do you have it positioned correctly so you can give Minerva give Rocket all the energy?
Yes. Between both like Thanos and
so
between Thanos and Star-Lord, yes, they're always giving him energy.
I don't necessarily like having a tank in the middle, but it works for that.
It's funny. I was told Thanos at the end and then Star-Lord in the middle, so that you could also give Minerva. No.
That's
so weird. Why?
Put Star-Lord at the end. Essentially, if you like far right would be Star-Lord. Going from right to left all the way at the end would be Star-Lord, Rocket, Thanos, Minerva, Groot.
Wait, hold up. You're speaking too fast. Right to left?
I can tell you later. So right to left, all the way far. So as you build a team. So like if you like clear out your team and do whatever, it'll pick you. It'll do middle, left, far right, and then far left. So in the middle, you want to have Thanos, and then you pick Rocket next. Then you pick Minerva next because that'll put it to the left of Thanos, and then you pick Star-Lord and then Groot.
Yeah,
that's funny. That'll be so. What that does is so whenever Star-Lord, whenever Star-Lord takes a turn, he'll give 2 energy to Rocket immediately, and then you can use his blind, which will then give 2 energy to Rocket, which then you can use his ultimate like immediately. Yes, that exactly. That exactly. That team.
Why did the internet lie to me?
But then, but also like as an enemy dies, like Thanos would grants energy to cosmic characters, and Rocket's a cosmic character, so it can either go to Rocket, so you can ultimate immediately, or it'll go to Minerva in case like somebody gets down.
Well,
and
I guess like whoever built that list wasn't too far off because it was still doing what I wanted, but I guess
this is just a way to
older version of it.
Yeah, it's just a way to maximize it. Just some people put Star-Lord in the in between some people to give energy, but honestly, in a raid team, you want as much damage as possible, especially in like Ultimate 6, where like you just load in with there's like a hand node or something like that. It's got like 9 hand assassins in there, and you have just turn 1, just use Rocket to get rid of all of them. It's so much fun. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun, but
cool.
For me, I will do my favorite character right now. I think it's probably got to be Namor, and I know that's a little silly to say because he's just new, but man, he just does some crazy stuff in war. It's just like, even at lower power, even at like 20k when I was first using him, just trying him out to see how he would do. Just load in with like all those defense ups and deflects and whatnot. Just turn 1 before anyone else goes. Just clear them all out. Just done. It's all gone. It's great. I don't have him maxed out yet, so he's sitting at 35k with 6664. I'll probably put some orange mats on him once block party's here, and but yeah, man, he's nutty. Not a fan of his special, but his special is just like it's a kind of an AOE. It's like you hit one person, hits the other 2 people next to them. That's it. But man, his turn 1 ability just makes everything else just go way smoother.
Nice. I've got a question for you on that. Have you tried to save it at all against any Ultron teams yet?
I have not, because I use X-Men against Ultron, or I either use X-Men against Ultron or I save my Power Armor team because I have a 6 Red Star Falcon who's at like 65k, and he just destroys the Ultron team. So essentially, like once Ultron brings his for that, like in war, like I'll save his speed up until he summons, and then I use his speed up. Everyone takes another turn. He goes again and just wipes them all out. Yeah. Like they can't survive it. So, but that'd be interesting. I'll have to try that maybe on this war. I'll forcefully try that with Namor in the thing.
Yeah, let me know how it goes. I want to try it on my next one. I didn't do it on this one, but I want to see if waiting for that same thing that you do with Falcon for Namor and those summons start to go, that then use them to kind of wipe it out. I'm curious if that's a good technique or not.
All right, I'll give it a go this war since he's on my war offense right now. So
boom, baby.
All right, so what's your final?
So yeah, I was struggling between Captain Marvel, Phoenix, and Colossus. I think I'm going to stick with Captain Marvel. I know that's kind of she's obviously yesterday's news to an extent, but she's still so good. I mean, the fact that you can almost leave her by herself in a room in war, and someone will still need, depending on how strong she is, someone still might need a 200k team to beat her. If you don't bring the right people in, that's amazing to me. So I love her. I've always been really high on her until I have reason not to think she's like a top 2-3 tune. She's still going to be kind of up there for me.
Yeah, if you max out her. Oh, hey, I got snacks being delivered. Yay. So what did I get? I got premium cuts of 10. Oh, yeah, look at that. I got some meat snacks. Nice. My wife just dropped them. Thanks, babe. Snacks.
I live on meat snacks.
Oh, it's different kind of. Oh, it's flax beef jerky. Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Fancy
that's
boy.
Great. That's
great. You got to move out to California for stuff like that.
Yeah, this is fancy here in Connecticut. It's great. But with the, especially if you max out Captain Marvel's passive, and it's like she's healing 20% every time she takes a turn, and you get down to, you get down to like 3 tunes left or something, or she takes out 1 tune and then she's just like, autos and takes out another one, and then it's 3 versus 1, and then they can't do enough damage. She just gets
literally
healed
DJ
and healed
Khaled
and healed.
playing every time she kills someone.
Yep.
Another one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I have her passive max, and I just got her ultimate max as well.
Hell yeah.
And
So
it's just
strong.
oh man, it's
You could max
it's
every
crazy.
one of her abilities, and it wouldn't be a bad decision.
Yep.
Yeah,
100%.
she's definitely like one of those characters. Like even no matter what, and I'm sad I only have her at 3 red stars, so I'm
Ooh,
hoping
I got
to
that
get
5
more.
Red Star Captain Marvel.
Oh, you have the best red stars.
What's up? What's
Oh,
up?
I'm so
What's up?
jealous.
She's so
Yeah,
good.
I'm hoping I get a 5 or a 6 on her. I would
You know
love
what makes
that,
it
but
worse is I'm just like such a scrub compared to you guys, which makes
Hey.
it so funny.
That's what makes this a good podcast, because we
Yep.
can, it just shows the RNG elements of everything, and it's just every time we have these discussions,
She's not
it's
too
just,
strong yet, but just bask in the Red Star.
Oh, I hate you
It's just
so much.
glowing. It's
You
just
gotta-
glowing.
You should
hate you
farm
so
her
much.
up. You got to get her to
I
like
know.
T11, T12.
I need to get her up higher.
Yeah, she's one, for me at least, she's one away, one superior adamantium away from tier 13. So,
Nice.
and I have not had any of those pop up in probably a month.
I can
So
get
it's
rid of Daredevil and put her in Defenders, right?
No, keep Daredevil.
Yeah, I wouldn't change defenders, honestly. Nah. I mean,
can.
what?
She's chilling in Brawlers right now anyway, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, you could put her in place of Punisher if you really wanted to, but I would just keep her in
Sorry, I didn't
Brawlers.
mean Daredevil. I meant Punisher. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh,
That's what
you could.
I see that sometimes in Arena, but
You could. In Arena, it makes sense, but still, like having Punisher attack anybody who attacks Daredevil,
Right.
and also having attack anybody who does like a defense up or the
I just
cleanse
got
or a heal. It's great.
friggin' 4 mobs with me going against a Miss Marvel, Captain America, Daredevil, Punisher, and Iron Fist, like weird Guardian brawler team that just
That's a
absolutely
good team.
destroyed me before I could even. It sucked.
Yeah, not
But
fun.
what do you do?
Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode 4 of the Marvel Strike Force Insider, or MSF Insider as we call it, here with the Overachievers Gaming Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at og.podcast, Twitter at overachieversp. Our website's beingoverachiever.com. You can find us also on Patreon, but we don't really do much with the Patreon. But if you want to throw us some bucks, you're more than welcome to. It gets us, allows us to pay for your hosting and all that fun stuff. But feel free to do that. You can find WolverThor everywhere at, was it just WolverThor?
Yeah, I
and
mean,
Wolver's
basically
original.
just pick the only difference one is Twitch where it's official, but I'm not streaming too much, so no big deal if you miss me there. But mainly YouTube and Discord, Patreon, etc.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
And we'll put, if you want to send me links to all that stuff on
Yeah,
Discord,
I'll send
I'll
you some.
include that with all the description. But anyway, thanks so much, man, for coming on and chatting with us. I know we talked about this like weeks and weeks and weeks ago, and I'm finally glad that it's come to fruition finally. So
yeah,
it's
for
been
sure.
a good time.
I really appreciate you guys having me on, and it was fun. And thanks a lot.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
man.
And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks with the next MSF podcast. You can catch us next week with our original scheduled programming with the Overachievers Gaming Podcast. So cheers. Thank you very much.